is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Oh, Sam, not again.
Initiating Daddy's back.
Go!
Set the rhythm of your smart home with Sloman Shield Blink, the new integrated smart home platform that automates your life just the way you want it. Sloman Shield Blink. Be the maestro of your own home.
Before you buy or lease a Honda, Volkswagen, Hyundai, or any other model, compare Subaru, rated #1 in safety at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Buy with 0.9% financing, 0 down. Forester with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $259 a month. Crosstrek with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $239 a month. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, South Florida's #1 volume Subaru retailer.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help. The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
It is a beautiful thing watching an absolute ass-kicking of the Gators. Nice job by the Canes. I love it. First of all, before I continue, I want to make sure, because I'm flying solo, no Sean right now. Make sure audio-wise, give me the thumbs up. Are we good? Are we good? Are we good in the hood? Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? What do we got? What do we got? I want to make sure here. And smash the hell out of that like button, by the way, if you are hearing me right now. Smash, smash, smash. Good? Thank you, Steven. Appreciate you. There we go. All right, we got 36. There we go. 46 likes. You got 225 watching. Let's go. Do it for the Canes. Do it for the Canes, baby. You know, it was fun because it humbled us too, right? In that third quarter, you got to give the Gators dominated the third quarter. They came out, they punched them in the mouth, and then that fourth quarter came, and Miami answered with the drive of all drives where they chewed up 7:42 of the clock. And they, sealed it with that touchdown. And that was all she wrote right there. And it was nice because it's the way the game started. It's kind of the way you ended. Hey, they're kids. They're young men. They're not, well, they are kind of professionals. Actually, we can't say that anymore, right? We can't say they're amateurs. They're not really amateurs. They're really professionals now. But what I mean is they're young professionals, okay? And so the concentration's not all going to be there. And you got to give the Gators a little love. Plus, that defense is for real, dude. I mean, it was no doubt. And it was nice to see that you had to overcome that kind of adversity and you figure it out, which is actually really, really cool. All right, let's do it. Let's figure it out. Let's get to our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes post-game report with the one and only Manny Navarro.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. If you're a Miami sports fan, there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro. Exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
Right after a beautiful 26-7 win by the Canes. Manny Navarro ready to join us before he covers what's going on post-game. Manny, how you doing, baby? You doing as good as the Canes right now? Because you're riding high, 4-0.
Yeah, I feel a little bit like that LSU beat writer who was asking Brian Kelly after the game, why did the offense look so bad? Why did the pass offense look so bad? That's what I'm going to take away from this, right? It's like, why did Carson Beck and the receivers not look that great? But if you're a Miami fan, you feel good because in the end, the final score was 26-7. You beat the Gators, and probably the last time that these two teams will meet in the regular season ever. I mean, the SEC is going to a 9-game schedule in league play, so this might be the last time we ever see the Gators in a regular season game. So, all in all, they got the win. They played really good defense, and they're moving on.
Yeah, listen, they had their hiccups, but again, they're playing one hell of a defense. Their effort last week, the guy threw 5 interceptions, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And they lost by 10 points. They should have lost by 35 points.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. That Gators defense is the real deal. And let me tell you what you just faced tonight. You faced the best defense that you're going to face all season long, actually. That's what I think. I think they're better than Notre Dame, and I think they're better than Florida State in 2 weeks. This was the best defense that you're going to face. And that's where I give the Canes some credit because – at one point, they kind of stuck in that third quarter. Give the Gators the third quarter. They dominated that third quarter. But you could cower and then not answer. And they did in the fourth quarter. They got back to saying, no. It's kind of like an arm wrestling thing. And you were like this, the first half. You went like this in the third quarter. And then you went like this in the fourth quarter. And I think, to me, that's football, dude, and you're going up against an SEC team. It may not be the best, but that's what the SEC is every single week. It's a bar fight, bro, and you were in a bar fight for the third quarter, and I love that they tested your mettle at that moment, and then you answered. Okay, does the passing game need to be a little tweaked? Maybe, just maybe. Let me add a little caveat to those fans out there. That's why in the first game, when he went with the conservative smart call against Notre Dame, and I was one of those guys that said, no, he made the right call at that moment because you still don't know who your offense is and how good they are. And as we can see, against a Notre Dame and against a Florida, you have to be careful. This offense isn't that perfect yet. They can run the ball, but their passing game isn't dominant yet. So that call in the first week proved right now again that was the right call at that moment because look what happened. The air game wasn't there as much. If it wasn't for Brown and Fletcher, this is a different ball game here overall. So to me, I love that they were tested in this game and then they answered back. I thought that was cool.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, in the end, this defense, they gave up that one long scoring drive, and it looked like Billy Napier, to his credit, him and his staff found something right in that third quarter with the little toss sweep out to the side and finding gaps and creating gaps so that their guys could get some offense. But as soon as that happened and the interception happened and Miami's defense was up against it, right, because they could have easily given away the lead, those guys came through and got the fourth down stop, and that's what winning teams do. That's what teams that make the college football playoff do. They know how to win, and I think that's what we saw from Miami tonight. The offense isn't as good as it was last year. We knew that. We knew that coming into this year. It was not going to be the same. It's impossible to repeat what you had with Cam Ward and Xavier Restrepo and all those guys. But at the same time, you have a better defense. You have a more complete team. You have a complete running game. Last year you had Damian Martinez and Mark Fletcher. Now you have two guys in Brown and Fletcher that are both bully ball type backs. And, you got the job done. But, they got something to work on over the next 2 weeks before they go up to Tallahassee and play Florida State. That's for sure.
But you can run, and that is so important. And that's going to be important later on in the season. And when you get to the playoffs, or the ACC. And as we're looking,
After next, if you take care of Florida State, you kind of already prove you're the class of the ACC. You know what I mean? So you've got an opportunity here, an opportunity of a lifetime now. After that Florida State game, there isn't much of a test compared to what you've gone through already. You know what I'm saying? This is pretty good, man. The U has really put themselves in a great position right now.
Look, when you look at the climb, that how long it's taken to get to this point, right? Because Mario took over 4 years ago. First season, was not good. Second season, not really good either. Last year they took a step forward, but still you're like, man, they don't have that defense. They don't have that
moments. They didn't take the step in the big. They took a step in record overall, but not in the big moments like they have over and over again here this year. Over and over.
And look, I know that Notre Dame team has 2 losses already, but that's still a very good team. This Gators defense is still very good. The South Florida team that they beat last week is a good team. So to me, they've got 3 good wins this year. I think you look at last year, how many great teams did they beat last year? Probably not many. I think these are 3 better wins than maybe they even had a year ago with this group.
Yeah. I'm really really happy. And the offensive line, dude. Jesus Christ, dude. Come on, man. Those guys, and again, they had to go through some crap in the third quarter where they weren't really able to do what they wanted to do, and then they had to kind of find their way again, overall in the fourth quarter. Lots of props to the offensive line today.
Well, that when they needed to put the fist down, as you said, that drive, that is something that makes you feel better about this team, because it was 13-7, it was tenuous, and they took it 80 yards, and they ran it the last 7 times on that drive, and just pounded it down their throat. And look, a lot of NFL scouts here today: Bills, Jets, Eagles, Bucks, Steelers, Giants, 49ers, Lions, Texans, Vikings, Packers, Saints, Jaguars, and Broncos. We're all here to look at this time, and I'm telling you, they're going to take probably 3 or 4 of those offensive linemen that Miami's got. So that's a pro offensive line for sure.
By the way, we always talk about Tony and CJ Daniels, who, by the way, there was one catch that he had today. It wasn't one of those catches that it was, it was a tough catch that I love that he had to get, and I thought that was good. He showed you like a little bit of a different guy there. But Elijah Lofton, dude, that to me was like the refresher out of all of everything else I've seen before. But to get Lofton that involved 4 times, and they were actually pretty key catches too in the drives where they were able to move chains and things like that. So I thought Lofton's emergence in this game, and really an addition to the offense this week. I like that.
Well, they need to showcase him in some way, shape, or form. I think he's too talented to kind of just be a role player. He needs to have a more prominent role. You saw it with the catch he made out of the backfield and the leap that he took over the DB for Florida. So look, he's a really good player. To me, he reminds me of a Tyler Warren type, and a kind of guy who can just be used in a lot of facets. And Mario's talked about him profusely. We just really haven't seen him explode yet. Tonight, it was nice to see him involved in the offense.
Defense getting 4 sacks or 5 sacks?
Four sacks. I think it was 7 tackles for loss total in the game, and obviously a lot of good individual performances. The guys who really stood out to me tonight, Jacoby Thomas had a really good game. I thought Keontae Scott, both of those guys in the secondary were really, really good to me. I don't know what kind of grades they're going to get from Pro Football Focus tomorrow, but it felt like when they needed to make a tackle or make a play, they were able to hit guys hard and force them backwards. So Mohamed Toure led the Canes with 10 tackles. He had a sack, a tackle for loss, but four sacks and 7 tackles for loss for this unit tonight.
I'll leave, I guess, somewhat of a negative today. Carson Beck, he was a little off at times. They had some drops too.
2 drops, yep.
Yeah, they had a couple of drops, but overall he did not play well. And then there were a couple of times where he was pressured too. So in that third quarter, he got pressured a couple of times too. But overall, not a good game for him. But do I say, okay, is it all on him, or was it okay? Do we say, all right, Florida was a bitch today to try to solve for him, and with a young receiving core, maybe that's why the running backs and the tight ends had more success than maybe we had on the outside.
If you want to compare what's supposed to be apples to apples, LSU, Garrett Nussmeier, right? We're hearing nothing about how he's an NFL first-round pick, a guy who's going to be a star. They had fewer yards and points against this Gators defense than Miami did. So I think if you want to, they're number 3, Miami's number 4.
Right.
I mean, in the end, Miami put up more numbers against them at home without 5 interceptions either, by the way. You know what I'm saying? So I think, look, Carson Beck is a good quarterback. I also think he's a guy that is not Cam Ward. He's just not. It's not the same guy in any way, shape, or form, and he's not going to give you the same results. And but that doesn't mean he can't be a really good college quarterback and a guy that plays in the NFL one day, you know, and who knows what kind of role he'll have. But I think he's good enough to get you to the college football playoff. He just had a bad night tonight, and whatever Florida did. Yeah.
At this level, you don't want him doing the Cam Ward stuff because that's not who he is.
Right.
But at this level, it's like, you know, I'm not saying he's that guy either. So slow down if you know, just in case, don't get crazy on me. But the Ken Dorseys of the world and the Steve Walshes couldn't carry you either. But if you blocked and ran, they did the rest. You know what I mean? If you kept the pocket clean and you gave them a running game, play action, accuracy, they can look off guys, they can do all the other stuff that you need. And I think that's who Carson Beck is. If you run and you give him and you block, you give him some balance, then he's going to be good enough at this. So I don't know about the NFL stuff. That's a little crazy, people getting ahead of themselves. But at this level, that's who he is. He's not the Cam Ward guy. That doesn't mean you can't win just as much, or maybe more, actually, because you didn't win anything with Cam Ward. Because your team wasn't. Look, the defense today, after getting stifled in the third, then they solve it in the fourth, and then they answer and they counter. After they figured out how to stop the outside stuff, they countered. They don't have that. They didn't have that last year with the other guy. They could never do that. You know,
they couldn't. They couldn't. By the way, I'm reading some of the comments here as we're talking, and I want to make sure that people heard me. There was a Dolphins representative here tonight because they're all panicked that the Dolphins weren't here.
They're not interested in running power football. That's just, you know,
the Dolphins were here though. They did have one guy. I don't know who Ron Brockington is. You might know who that is, but he was here tonight watching for the Dolphins.
Yeah, they're not. That was in the 70s when they were interested in running like this. That was a long time. We have Marino. They didn't care about running. We've got now to they don't care about running. So it doesn't matter what other quarterback. That's what I love. Let's get rid of him. Let's get another quarterback. You know, because it's going to work out. Of course,
right?
It always works out this way. Yeah, no, of course, yeah. But it's the quarterback's fault always. Yes, exactly. Anyway. What do you got going on in the Athletics so folks can check you out, my brother?
Well, we'll have our takeaways. They're probably up online. Matt Baker, who is up in Tampa and knows all about the Gators and following Billy Napier in their story. He has his part of the story. Mine is the Canes-related angle. It's up on theathletic.com, I'm sure, by now. I'm going to go down and see if I find a good story to write about in terms of the Canes and probably write that in the morning.
Lofton, bro. Lofton. And again, that's something now that the Seminoles are like, oh, shit, we got to worry about this freaking guy now, you know, because you knew about Fletcher and Brown, and you already know about Tony, and you know about CJ, and now the emergence of the tight end. I like it, man. I like it.
And by Florida State, the game plan for it, that's for sure.
And that's a beautiful friend for every quarterback in the world.
100%.
Tight end, bro. That is just absolutely awesome. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro and catch his work there at The Athletic. Manny, thank you, my brother. We will catch up later on in the week.
All right. Take care, brother. Talk soon.
You got it. All right, folks. Caneswear, man. That's where they get it done there at Caneswear. All right. 2655 South University Drive in Davie. Tell them that Big O sent you. Use our code Big O10. I just got this one this week. We were doing the show there on Thursday, and I saw this. You know what? I broke this in today. Actually, you know what? I just noticed on the camera that I have not taken off. And, you know, I don't really keep that's for you youngins out there that keep the stickers. I don't keep the sticker. But anyway, you can get the Miami hat. There you go. You can get it online You can order it, 10% off. Use our code BIG010. Anything with the Canes logo on it, Dolphins gear, Marlins gear, Panthers gear, Panthers championship gear, Miami Heat. They got it all there, man. So go check it out. Brett and Jeff and Jack and Ken Graff and all the people out there at Caneswear. Tell them that Big O sent you. By the way, if you order online over $99, you will get free shipping. All right. So make sure you tell them that we sent you, and they will take care of you at caneswear.com. And now I need to find my out since I am by myself.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget, folks, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo, of course. We have the super chats here, but YouTube takes 30%. So that's why we tell you Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can send your questions, comments, insults, all kinds of stuff there. Joe Cracciola on Venmo. Big O, haven't seen D linemen dominate like this since Russell Maryland and Warren Sapp. Nice win onto Florida State. Love the show. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. Can't wait. Let me tell you, it's been one hell of a start for the Canes. The Notre Dame game, the South Florida game, now Florida. You got Florida State in 2 weeks. You've got the meat of your schedule right at the beginning. You can set yourself up. And now then the second half stretch, you're much better than all those teams. So it'll be a mental test for you to win what you're supposed to win, as they say. But you can set yourself up for the ACC championship game and possibly, definitely the playoffs. And that's the beautiful thing about all of this. And listen, man, we haven't seen the Canes win an ACC championship game. Of course, we want them to win a national championship, and that would be pretty cool. And they're kind of positioning themselves to be in that mix. I mean, it's not something that I thought of. I predicted 11-1 and an ACC championship trip. Now I think you got a shot with Florida State. If you don't lose that one, you got a shot at going 12-0, and you got a shot at winning the ACC championship game. You win against Florida State in 2 weeks, I expect you to win the ACC championship game. And it's beautiful to watch the kind of football that they're playing. It's the kind of football that we'd like to be, seen playing on Sundays. But that's what you like about Mario. He gets it, dude. He gets like the kind of football that you're supposed to play. True Fin fan. He says, be gentle on Frankie. His heart is broken. We love Frankie, bro. I mean, Frankie would have gone crazy, would have loved, he enjoys anything that happens, to the Canes. But what am I going to tell you? He's got no shot at getting the better end this time. Frankie is having an absolutely terrible season, like most Gator fans. And now they've got to find out if they should keep their coach or not. I'll tell you what I need to tell. I'll tell you what. Let me go with our Sloman's key decision of the game.
What was the deciding moment? Who made the right move? Where did the game change? It's the Sloman's key decision of the game. Make the smart decision to protect your home and family by calling Sloman's at 1-800-ALARM-ME, serving Americans for nearly 100 years. Here's our Sloman's key decision of the game.
All right. You want the key decision of the game? It was at the 11:20 mark in the fourth quarter when the Canes were, okay, all of a sudden now the Gators are within 6 points. They're coming off a very successful third quarter where they basically dominated the third quarter got their running game going, got the Canes on their heels. And what they did in the first half when they were dominating, they got back on track. And they did not, as we see some other team that plays on Sundays, that the second they see the run game not working, they give up and go to the pass. No. That wasn't going to happen here. That Mario Cristobal and his staff and his style and his philosophy is based back on the running game. And he went back and looked at those guys on the offensive line and said, bro, this is all on you guys. Let's get this shit going. And then all of a sudden it's 1st and 10 from the Miami 20 and it's Fletcher for 4. And it's 2nd and 6 from the 24 and it's back to Brown on a pass that he takes it for 16 yards. Then Brown goes for 3. Then Beck finds Brown again. He goes for 6. Brown goes for 6. Beck to Lofton for 9. Fletcher runs for 3. Fletcher runs for 11. Fletcher runs for 6. Brown runs for 10. They get into in the goal area. Brown for 2, Brown for 3, Brown for the touchdown. What can Brown do for you? The decision to get back to what you are, a running team, punch people in the mouth, eat the clock, which it was 7:42 on that drive. You put the ball in the air, but you put it to your running backs and your tight ends, not receivers. So you make high percentage passes. You're having trouble with the outside game because Florida's defense is not going to give you a world of time. So you're going to have to make quick decisions. Get back to the running game. And if you veer off the running game a little bit, it's kind of a passing game that complements the running game. Getting back to that decision is the right decision. The same way you call our friends at Sloman's at 1-800-ALARM-ME. You can get ShieldLink right now, and that is where all your smart devices work together seamlessly and effortlessly. And from a single intuitive app, you can control the lights, the climate, the door locks, the music, the blinds, the TVs, just about anything in your home. Reach out to Sloman so you can get cutting-edge smart home automation. Tell them that Big O sent you. 24/7 access, of course, and service, all in one control. Personalized automation, and of course, peace of mind. Something that Sloman's been giving Americans for 100 years. 1-800-ALARM-ME and tell them that you want to get ShieldLink. We're in 14 different states. Getting back to the run. That is the Sloman's key decision of the game.
Our key decision of the game is brought to you by Sloman's Home Shield. When you want to protect your home, family, or business, call Sloman's at 1-800-ALARM-ME.
All right, folks, don't forget, use the QR code, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum, Chainlink or Solana donation. Ray, thank you for the love on Venmo, my brother. Appreciate you. He says, great win, FSU next. Hell, you even sent me like a GIF. I didn't know you can put the GIFs or whatever on it. I like it, beating FSU. I like it. That was cool. Very nice of you. Thank you. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. Toxic Fart is in the house. Thank you for the love in the super chat. And they took a rushing TD away with a bad whistle. Yeah, it is what it is. But they got it done, dude. They got it done. And I'm really glad about the third quarter. I really am, because you start getting a big-ass head and you start thinking too much of yourself, and you were dominating in that first half, and you got all the former Canes in the house, and you got Michael Irvin going nuts, and you got game day, and you've got Pat McAfee running around the pool and jumping off the tall part of the what's it called, whatever that balance beam, not the balance beam, whatever it is, the thing it is up there to dive off the diving board, the highest diving board off there or whatever, and doing the cannonball. Although it wasn't kind of a cannonball, it was kind of a spike, right? He kind of went feet first, which is smart. Cannonball from that high might be a little too much at that age. You don't want to be risking that, but you're getting all that attention. and then you dominate in the first half. I like that they got a little humbled in the third quarter, because that's good stuff for the tape. That's good stuff for the passing game, which it wasn't great. But I'm not. This is football, man. I'm not here to judge you by style points, because some people say, "Oh, well, Beck didn't play well in the offense. The passing game wasn't great." Okay, that's fine, dude. You played a hell of a defense. One hell of a defense. I bet a bunch of those guys will probably be playing in the NFL when it's all said and done. So, to me, I love that you found a way to win the game. The toughness, the grit, that's what I like. You didn't fold, which is what we're so used to watching with the Canes the last 20 years. They would have folded normally in these kind of positions. The team would have taken over, and they would have never answered back. And they did. And by the way, very awesome for the defensive coordinator too, because in the third quarter, they figured out the outside crap, and then they ended up shutting that down and ending that. And you got to put most, what they did was they wanted to make sure that they weren't going to be beaten in the running game, and they wanted to make sure that Lagway was the one that was going to beat them. And there was no damn way that Lagway was going to beat them. No way Lagway was going to beat them. That was beautiful, dude. That was absolutely beautiful tonight. It's great. I love what I saw tonight from the Canes, because it's not what I'm used to seeing the last 20-plus years. Let's go over some of the stats before I get back to your questions and your comments. Carson Beck finished 17 of 30 for 160 yards and interception. Mark Fletcher was awesome, 24 for 116 and a touchdown. Marty Brown, or Shamar Brown, 18 of 80, 2 touchdowns. He also had 4 receptions for 53 yards too. Elijah Lofton had 4 receptions for 43 yards. Malachi Tony, that is, 4 for 40, and CJ Daniels 4 for 16 in the game. As for sacks, the team had 4. Torrey had 1. He also had 10 tackles. He had 5 solo, which was amazing. Wesley Besant had 8 tackles, 3 solo, half a tackle for loss. Ruben Bain, who was just a beast, 7 tackles, 4 solo, half a sack. Jacoby Thomas played really well. He picked up the sack. That was on the safety blitz when he picked that one up. Akeem Mesidor picked up half a sack. And Marquise Lightfoot, love that name, also picked up 1 of the 4 sacks that the Canes had in the game. It was just a beautiful thing. Lagway, 12 of 23, just 61 yards. Baugh got 12 for 46. He got a lot in that third quarter where he really did some damage. And Jackson got a couple of runs in there, 7 for 39, but overall just not the deal. The offensive line did give up 1 sack when it was all said and done. And when it comes to team stats, the Canes pretty much dominated. First downs, 21-7. Third down efficiency, 0 for 13 for the Gators. They did not convert 1 third down in the game. Miami was 8 of 16 in the process. Gators actually did very well in fourth down efficiency. They went 3 of 6 because they were so bad on third down. Miami only converted 1 of their fourth downs, which is the only one they were in the process. Miami had a total of 344 yards to the Gators 141, 160 to 61 in the passing department. Rushing, Canes 184, the Gators 80. Penalties, Miami had 6 for 30. The Gators had 3 for 20, and time of possession, 36-30 to 23-30 in favor of the Canes. And turnovers, of course, the Canes had the 1 turnover, and the Gators did not. So that's it. There you go. That's what happened in today's game. I mean, it was just an absolute ass-kicking domination. I was really proud of the Canes. Now, I got to go with my Moody's Dental MVP of the game, and I think it's pretty easy, right?
Who's last night's MVP? There's only one MVP for your family's dental care.
Moody's Dental. Get your smile back at Moody's Dental. Visit them on Instagram at moodys.dental.
Here's our Moody's Dental MVP of the night.
Easy. so easy for our Moodius Dental MVP of the night, Shamar Brown. Marty. I mean, he was everything. 18 rushes, 80 yards, 2 touchdowns. He caught 4. He was the leading pass catcher for the team also, 4 for 53. He was an absolute workhorse. He got it done, kind of like the folks at Moodius Dental. That's why my wife, my daughter, my mother-in-law, myself, we've all been going to Moodius Dental. And you can visit our friends at Moodius Dental. They've got offices in Dade, 305-821-0231, in Broward, 954-692-6825. Invisaligns, whether you want to get any cosmetic surgery, dental implants, preventive care, they do it all for you. Get your smile back and follow them on Instagram at moodius.dental. And, of course, Shamar Brown is our Moodius Dental MVP of the night.
The MVP of the night is brought to you by Moodius Dental.
From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back, they accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams. To schedule an appointment in Dade, call 305-821-0231. In Broward, 954-692-6825. Follow them on Instagram at moodius.dental, providing MVP smiles every day of the year.
All right. Hope you all are doing well out there. Let me read some of the comments and questions. Toxic Fart. I think Caneswear got a box of defective hats and said, screw it, sell them. Yep, that's it. And we said, buy them. I love it. Panthers got it going when they won their championship. That's the Kachuk came out with that hat, and then it was kind of like a thing. And the upside down thing has taken a life of its own. Let me tell you, this hat is super comfortable too. And it's sweet. Okay. So you could get it at Caneswear. Plus, they got like 8 billion hats in there. Like a crap ton of hats. It's awesome. Use our code BIG010 so you can save yourself 10%. All right. What else do we have? Holt says Big O doesn't notice. What did I not notice? What am I doing wrong? Did I do anything wrong? What else do we have here? Center had 3 snap infractions. Daniels dropped a big third down, and they blew a TD dead. Back was off, though. Dude, I'm not here to nitpick and worry about style points. You went up against a great defense, and you found a way to win the game. And there was like a little bit of doubt in the third quarter, but at no point did you lose the lead. At no point were you at some level like, oh my God, we've got no shot at winning this thing. No. You made the plays. Once your backs were against the wall, you made the plays on defense, and then you ended it on offense. No matter... Sometimes that's the beauty of football, is you're not going to play a clean game, but at least if you find a way to win, I'm good with that, dude. I'm good with that. I have no problem. If you find a way to win, to me, that's what's special. That's what tells me you've got some character. Because in the third quarter, the Gators kind of figured you out a little bit. And they said, all right, let's attack the outside zones here. And then all of a sudden, weakness. And then they hit you on the inside one, too. After hitting you on the outside, then they got a big one on the inside. And you're like, well, wait a minute. Well, are they comboing your ass right now? Is that what they're doing? They got, and you're like, whoa, what's going on here? And then they stumbled. And then they collected themselves and came back. So just because it wasn't perfect doesn't mean it's not an excellent win. And they're undefeated, dude. And they've got quality wins. National TV wins where everybody's watching. You've got your center stage and you can screw things up, and you haven't. From where we've been the last 20-some years, I am really, really, really happy right now. I can't, and some of the shit that we saw in the first couple of years of Mario, I'm not seeing any of that, man. So I have a hard time taking any kind of a negative stance with a team that's 4-0 and winning football games the way they're winning football games, because I love this kind of style. This is the kind of style that allows you to win a championship. This is the kind of style that allows you to overcome mistakes. Okay, so I really like what I'm seeing from the Canes. I'm really happy that Mario has gotten to this point, because we all needed it badly, especially with the Dolphins being so mediocre. It's crazy. Let's see. Daniel Guzman says, notice how the Canes manage the damn game on offense. They never snap the ball with more than 10 seconds on the clock when they're in the lead. Wish McClown and the Finns would take note. You'll never win with that guy, so it doesn't really matter. It's just that guy doesn't really know how to run a team, dude. You know, so forget about that. Let's enjoy the Canes and their effort and what they've done today, because to me, that's the impressive part. That's what we all should be celebrating, is that your Canes have actually made some serious progress and becoming a real program and playing football the way they're supposed to play. Yes, it's frustrating. The idiots on Sunday don't even come close. I understand that. But what are we going to do? At least we get one of the two. At least we have the Panthers. You know what I'm saying? By the way, congratulations to Inter Miami. Inter Miami ended up getting a victory today, 3-2 against DC United. Victory cigar, of course, for the Canes. So there we go, some victory cigars. Hateful Steve is in the house. You're right. It's been typical Canes and Dolphins to dominate a game but not score a lot and let the opponent come back. These kids didn't do that tonight, and I'm proud of them. Steve, what have we dealt with for 20 years, dude? We dealt with a stupid team, a soft team, an undisciplined team, a team that wasn't physical anymore, a team that couldn't really impose their will. All the shit that the Canes used to be, they weren't for 20 years. We're now getting back to that. Are they back? No, not yet. You need to win something significant. You need to get you need to beat Florida State and get to the ACC championship game and win it. And then I can say we're back, because now you put yourself in the playoffs, and now you got yourself. I'm not saying to win a national championship. I would love it. If they can win a national championship this year, oh my God, that would be phenomenal. But just win me the ACC and get me to the playoffs. Maybe win a game in the playoffs. I don't know. Maybe win 2. But I'm good. I compared to what I've had for 20 years, I'm good. I'm really good right now. I'm extremely happy. I haven't been this happy about the Canes in a while. Even I used to piss people off a little bit when we had Rick here and the win, and I was like, yeah, it's still, it doesn't feel right yet. This is feeling more right. This is feeling like a team that can sustain, because this is the kind of football that you have to play. I love it, man. I love what I'm seeing from the Canes. And every one of you should be incredibly proud of what you're watching from the Miami Hurricanes. Robert Cowell, thank you, sir. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo, and you can send your questions, comments, and insults there. Robert Cowell says, winning in the trenches, gotta love it. Oh, go Canes. Can't wait till the day our Finns build through the trenches. Much love to you, Sean, and all the viewers. Let's keep rolling. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you immensely, and thank you for your generosity. We appreciate you. Thank you. Oscar says, Big O, no biggie. It was raining out there. Remember the humidity. The defense got a little tired in the third quarter, but they got their second win and finished strong. And that shows maturity. That shows professionalism, because adversity is going to hit all of us in every part of our lives, just like in a football game. It's just not going to go for you fine for 4 quarters and everything's great. And I know some adversity is going to hit. What's going to happen at that moment? So they punched you in the mouth at the moment, and they shocked you a little bit. Did you wobble, and did you collect yourself and come back? And that's what they did. They collected themselves and they came back. I can't ask for more from the Canes today. And ladies and gentlemen, they beat the Gators' ass. Okay? They dominated the Gators physically. And that's what matters. Sure, the Gators had a moment. Hey, man, they're not a terrible program or anything like that. They got a hell of a defense. They don't got a great offense, but they got a hell of a defense, and they got a little bit of the running game going. They figured something out, and then the Canes snuffed that out. They figured it out, and they ended it, and that's it. To me, and then you beat the Gators. You cannot lose this game. And you got recruits there. You got people you're trying to flip. Remember, folks, we've talked about this with Manny on our Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes segments, that Mario needed these kind of wins because he is getting a lot of the top recruits, but the upper echelon, the elite of the elite, he's still losing out on some of those to the Michigans and the Ohio States and the Alabamas and the Georgias of the world and the Texas of the world. It's not because of the NIL money. The NIL money is the same. It's just that those kids are not convinced that Miami is national championship material like those other programs are. So they look at Ohio State and they say, well, that's a national championship program. So they go there. Oh, Georgia, national championship. Alabama, even though maybe Alabama might be going the other way because Saban's gone, but at the moment they still have that going on. You know what I'm saying? So Miami doesn't have that. These are the things that start convincing these kids and their parents. And Cam Ward goes to the NFL now. And now if you can have Carson Beck finish out and have a really good year and go to the NFL, all of a sudden, and Maui Noah and all these guys and Mesidor, all these guys will end up putting UM on the map. Higher draft picks, success, win the ACC, get to the playoffs, win in the playoffs. Now you'll start getting the elite of the elite to commit also to the Canes. And then that takes you to another level, dude. And that puts you perennially where they used to be, up in the elite. All this, the start of these 4 games, 3 of them were nationally televised games. You beat, 2 ranked teams. One, Florida's not ranked, but you still dealt with an SEC team that's got a great, great defense. Make no mistake, Florida's got a great defense. And that was a really good test for you. Don't underappreciate what's happened in the first 4 games. Take a step back and remember what's gone on for the last 20 years. And when you compare what's gone on for the last 20 years, there is zero comparisons to what we're watching right now in these first 4 games. Zero comparisons. And Mario and his staff deserve credit. And Mario deserves credit because he's gone through hell. He's done some stuff that was pretty bad, obviously. You know, it didn't look good for him. And he had to tweak his coaching staff a couple times to find the right people. And it looks like he figured out the defensive coordinator one too. And your offensive coordinator clearly is kicking ass. So we're good, man. We're really, really good. Everybody was worried about the kicker, right? Because it didn't go well for him at FAU. Well, give them credit for scouting and saying, no, hold on a second. This is Red Rock. This kid's good. He can do this. And the kicker's also proven to, he's got some goods, bro. All these kind of little things. Let's give Mario and his staff love. We're going to be critical and have been critical when they're not getting it done, when they are underachieving and things like that. That happened to him in the first couple of years. But now he seems to have his kind of players, his kind of coaching staff, and he's having the most success that he's ever had and the right kind of success. You're not just beating shitty teams and losing to good ones, Dolphin style. No. Now you're beating everybody. Now you're beating the good teams. Now you're beating the decent teams, and you're beating down the bad teams. I like it. These are all things that show me maturity in this process for his program, for the coaching staff, everything going on. So as a Canes fan, I could not be happier with the direction that they're going in right now. I could not. It's impossible for me to feel any better than what I'm feeling right now and what I'm seeing from the Canes. Bag on head. Thank you for the love on the Venmo, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. You can use those QR codes that you see there. I like what I saw. I feel like they needed a game where they got tested a little before we play FSU. They took a punch and finished strong. Love it. Andrew Watson in the house. Thank you for the love on Venmo. Says, go Canes, what a win. I like number 6, the running back. Yeah. Brown and Fletcher. Fletcher's an NFL back. And Chamar Brown or Marty Brown, whatever it is, he's got some balls, dude. He's got some toughness. That is good. And there were times when they were carrying people with Fletcher and all that. It was great. It was just great to watch the line and the run game shove the ball down somebody's throat, dude. God, that is so good. What a talent. Wasn't so impressed with Beck, the QB, though. Which QB in college will Finns look at? To me, none of it matters to me. Are you going to fix the line or the running game? It's the same question for 40 years. I'm sorry. If Marino can't win anything without a line or a running game, who are you getting in the draft? Okay. You fix the line in the running game? Then don't talk to me about a fucking quarterback. Seriously. Do you fix the line in the running game? No? Don't talk to me about a fucking quarterback. Okay? Let's be intelligent fans from here on out. Did you fix the line or the running game? No? Doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Doesn't matter. Does not matter who the quarterback is. You had that guy. Did it matter? Stop it with the quarterback stuff. Quarterback does not matter at all. Go ask the Philadelphia Eagles. They make the quarterback interchangeable because they win at the line of scrimmage. The Eagles make the quarterback and the head coach interchangeable. Neither head coach would be getting a job once they leave Philadelphia. Look at Doug Peterson. Nobody wants his ass. They found out in Jacksonville he wasn't shit as a head coach. This guy also probably wouldn't get a job after he's done with Philadelphia too. Okay? And the two quarterbacks that won Super Bowls, they couldn't win Super Bowls if their lives depended on it if it wasn't for the dominant teams that they were given. But it is what it is. The guy we have kicked his ass out of town in Alabama because he was half the passer of Tua. But it is what it is. So keep talking quarterbacks. None of you learn a goddamn thing. None of you learn a goddamn thing. Seriously. Greasy won a Super Bowl throwing the ball 7 times. None of you learn a goddamn thing. None of you learn a goddamn thing. Keep thinking about who the next quarterback is without an offensive line and a running game. Keep going. That's just intelligent football, bro. Anyway, how about Jason's D-line, future NFL head coach? I don't know about that. I don't know about future head coach or anything like that with Jason. I don't even know if he's a college head coach right now. You know, just because you're a good position coach doesn't really mean anything at all for head coach. At all. Doesn't mean a damn thing. So he's a position coach right now. He has to elevate to defensive coordinator, and then he's got to elevate to head coach in college, and then he can then think about, going to the NFL. There's a long process before Jason Taylor should be even considered to go to the NFL at this point in time. We haven't accomplished anything yet here either, by the way. Won 4 games. It's a great start, but you got to keep going. But remember, if you don't have an offensive line or a running game, it won't matter who the quarterback is. It won't matter. And some of you will never, ever learn about football and not learn that without a line and a running game, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Just doesn't matter. The good thing is if you have a line and a running game, your quarterback doesn't have to be Mr. Everything. You know what I'm saying? And by the way, all the Mr. Everythings, none of them ever win a title. That's the amazing part, all those Mr. Everythings, because you need a Mr. entire football team. So some of you need to kind of figure that shit out. Big O says toxic fart. I'm a pig for having had a crush on Lita Ford in my teens and for another reason. She just celebrated her birthday yesterday. Lita Ford. Yes, the Drew. The O-line is everything. And, and toxic fart. We have Eichenberg. Exactly. So it's forget the quarterback. Quarterback won't matter a damn bit. I think what's it called? What's his name? David Carr. Not Derek, David Carr. I think he would have been a good quarterback in the NFL. Not a Hall of Famer or a great quarterback. I think he would have been a good quarterback in the league. He played with a terrible team, and he got him killed and sacked so many times. It ruined him. Archie Manning, hell of a quarterback. Didn't do anything. He was with a terrible team. It happens. If you don't have a line, you have a running game, you don't have a head coach. Doesn't matter who the quarterback is. I've seen good quarterbacks like Steve Bartkowski just lose a career because he was on a bad team. I watched Steve Young not be able to look like a complete goofball with Tampa. And then he goes to San Francisco and gets his career back on track. And he was awesome with the LA Express, and he was awesome at BYU. But he ends up in Tampa, and he looks like dog shit. And it just wasn't him. So until all of you learn that without a running game and out of offensive line, it will not matter who the quarterback is. You must block and you must run. And if you don't do that, it's going to be hard for your quarterback to survive. And I don't know how people just don't get that. No, let's go get the next quarterback. Yeah, bro, that's really going to be your answer. Yeah, and by the way, we're so good at drafting quarterbacks for decades, aren't we? Yeah, I love how that's my other favorite one for the Dolphin out there, because you sound so fucking silly. Oh, let's go get the next one. Yeah, you're so good at it. Yeah, go for it. Devin Jordan, Big O, is Belichick girlfriend Jordan helping him lose games at UNLC? No, dude, I think that Bill Belichick is a joke. And I think what's going on is what happened towards the end of his Patriot career. He's a great defensive coordinator. He wasn't a great head coach. He got lucky. He got Brady. Brady saved his ass. He got Dante Scarnecchia, the best offensive line coach in the business, and he could coach the hell out of defenses. And Brady just lifted his ass. But if it wasn't for Brady, he doesn't have one title. That's all. And the early teams were defensive teams, but you still couldn't find somebody at least to make the plays. So that's why he goes to Tampa and wins, and this is why he's a flop. And now here he is in UNC looking like a complete clown. That's what he looks like at UNC, a complete clown. The poor kid that got injured today, the Hispanic kid, what's his name? The quarterback, he sucks. He sucks. I forgot the kid's name, but he sucks. Okay? Terrible. That's what you recruited? That's what you brought in? Typical Bill Belichick. He couldn't find a quarterback if his life depended on it. If it wasn't for Chris Greer's dad leading him the way to Tom Brady, he wouldn't have figured it out. So I personally, all I'm telling you is I'm enjoying the hell out of Bill Belichick suffering and losing. He can't suffer and lose enough for me. There can't be enough embarrassing losses for me to watch Belichick. So I said this ahead of time because I don't have a problem going out on a limb being wrong. But I said, hey, man, I don't expect this to be successful because I don't think he's very good. I think he's just a great defensive coordinator. But when it comes to the whole game, he's at this dude. He put Matt Patricia as an offensive coordinator. That's all you need to know. I mean, he's a clown, and he's proven that he's a clown right now. Great defensive coordinator. He had a hell of a run. God bless him. Enjoy all those titles. Go to the Hall of Fame. Go retire. But all he's doing now is banging a 24-year-old and stealing money from North Carolina so he can pay for her. That way she's on the sidelines with her little skirt and high boots. And that's it. That's what Belichick is, dude. Belichick's a loser. And this is called karma, what's going on with Belichick. Karma is what's going on. He will hurt his overall reputation because of this. It won't affect it. He's still going to be considered one of the greatest and go into the Hall of Fame. But in conversations, people will go, yeah, but. And that's what happened to Bill Belichick now. You can say whatever, but in all conversations in football, everybody's going to say, yeah, but. Yeah, hell of a football mind on defense, but yeah, his quarterback carried his ass. Because when the quarterback went to Tampa and won another, that was bad for him. That really made Belichick look really, really bad. And now that he looks like a horse's ass down the stretch in New England and got fired, okay, and now he looks like a complete clown, I couldn't be enjoying this more. And he doesn't get to beat Shula's record. Oh, man, that is sweet. Absolutely sweet. So, sorry if it looks like sour grapes on my part or you want me to be a loser or something. Whatever it is, I'm fine with it. I'm enjoying. Right. And by the way, somebody put Belichick. Exactly. More on that, too. Cheating and everything. I love the karma. He can't lose enough for me. The great George Metellus. I am loving UM's defense this season. This year's UM's defense is starting to remind me of those defenses of the 80s and the 90s. Exactly. Yes, I'm with you there. Remind me how successful Belichick was when he was the coach of the Cleveland Browns. Exactly. His record without Brady is a shitty-ass record. All right? What else do we have going on? There's Frankie. I see Frankie. I like FSU's second favorite team behind Florida since my sister graduated from that school. Well, Frankie, you'll lose twice this year with your favorite and your second favorite team. That's not bad. At least, you had a chance. That's the beauty, Frankie. You can say, we had a chance. By the way, please smash the hell out of the light. We can get to 200, by the way. We're at 251. We got 188. You guys can, on the ticker there. It's at 188. We only need 13 to get us over 200. Come on. We need a Marino. See? It all gets back to Marino. 13 to get at 201. Let's go. 13. Come on. Who's going to do it for me? Let's go. Hit that like button. Get us over 200. Let's go. Come on. 13. We need 13. Come on. Hasn't moved at all, dude. That is cruel stuff. There we go. 194. All right. It's starting. Let's go. Couple more. Come on. Hit that like button. Smash it. Well, you really dislike us if you can't even smash the like button. You're watching. We're working hard on a Saturday night at 12:20 in the evening. Man, that is just some cruel stuff that folks don't even hit the like button. Crazy. Anyway, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink or Solana donation as always, and appreciate you all out there. Thank you as always for supporting us every which way possible. Don't forget R&M Contractors. They are also proud sponsors of our program, Ray and Mike. And if you live in Dade, Broward, Palm Beach, they get it done. Go to our Instagram page at RMC Fisher Island. If you're looking for complete remodel, kitchen upgrades, waterproofing your terrace, your balcony, even, by the way, for a home too, if you got a second floor, you don't want water going down to the next floor or going to your neighbors or anything like that. So make sure you get a flood test report and all of that. Impact windows, door installations, bathroom upgrades. They do it all for you. Reach out to them, 305-345-3649. That's R&M Contractors, 305-345-3649. And they support all of our crypto segments every single week here on the program, and we appreciate it immensely. Speaking of crypto, by the way, Bitcoin is sitting at 115,600. All right. True Fin Fan, thank you for the super chat, sir. He says Frankie told me G-Tech was his second favorite team last year. Yeah, everybody that faces UM is Frankie's favorite team. You know, he loves FAMU. Yeah, he loves Bethune-Cookman. You know, all those teams. Whenever they play Miami, he loves them. He's big fans. True Fin Fan, that was good. He goes, I have the DM as proof. Now it's FSU. Oh, that is too much, dude. That is too much. You gotta love that. You gotta love that. You're a trip out there. All right. Let's get to something very important. Our Cutter's Edge Pro difference maker of the game.
Who brought the edge? Who changed the game? Who is our Cutter's Edge Pro difference maker? When you want to give your home or business the edge, call Cutter's Edge Pro in South Florida for all your landscape solutions. Here's our Cutter'sEdgePro.com difference maker.
You know who I'm going to go with? I'm going to go with Francis Mauinoa. I'm going to go with Inez Cooper. Brockemeyer. I got to say, Brockemeyer just sounds like an offensive lineman, right? The center. Matthew McCoy, Markel Bell, and guys off the bench. But to me, the Cutter's Edge Pro difference maker of the game is the offensive line. The offensive line gave Carson Beck enough time most of the night. I'm going to blame Carson and a couple of the drops more than I'm going to blame the offensive line. There were a couple of times he was pressured. I get it. He was sacked once. But the running game was outstanding. It ran 46 times for 184 yards and 3 touchdowns. And they started the game by dominating and kicking their ass. And when they had a problem in that third quarter, which was a problem, the offensive line also got a little off kilter in that third quarter. But in that fourth quarter, with 11:20 left in the fourth quarter, the Cutter's Edge Pro difference makers of the game, this offensive line got down and dirty and just put their hand on the ground, and they put a helmet in somebody's chest, and they put them on their ass on a consistent basis. And 184 yards, they dominated, and they get our Cutter's Edge Pro difference maker of the game. Reach out to our friends, William Quigley, and the great people at Cutter's Edge Pro. They know how to get it done. They've been at this for a long, long time. Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach, they got tons and tons of trucks. I don't know, like over 70 trucks. They're all over the place, and landscaping can help the value of your home, the value of your business. It increases the value already. And by the way, you put enough trees around your home, some in the backyard and all that, you bring down the temperature. You can hang out more in the backyard. That's happened to us in our backyard. Now that our trees have grown, there's a large percentage of the backyard that gets a lot of shade. And so the dogs and we can hang out a little bit more in the backyard. And it's really, really cool. And some of our listeners, by the way, have called Cutter's Edge Pro, and they've actually added trees and plants to the sides or around their homes. So that way the heat is being absorbed by the trees and not by the walls of your home. And all of a sudden the AC works a lot better too, man. So landscaping helps in so many different ways. It creates a better environment for your home and your atmosphere. And on top of that, it creates value for your business and your home. Call William Quigley and all the great people there at Cutter's Edge Pro. 954-472-0622. Make sure you tell them that Big O sent you. I got to give our offensive line the Cutter's Edge Pro difference makers of the game.
The Cutter's Edge Pro difference makers brought to you by Cutter'sEdgePro.com, servicing HOAs, condominiums, townhomes, commercial properties, corporate parks, malls throughout South Florida. Cutter'sEdgePro.com, providing South Floridians the edge every day of the year.
All right. Thank you all out there as always. Big O, when you Google fair weathered fan, Frankie's name comes up. True Finfa goes, I have the memory of an elephant. Oh, I forget nothing. Devin Jordan says, just imagine if the Dolphins had the Canes O-line. And it's not just that, okay, which you're right, but it's the attitude. Somebody mentioned that early in the game, and I put up a picture of Mario and a picture of Mike McDaniel, and I said, one guy makes no excuses and doesn't forgive. The other guy makes excuses for everything and forgives everybody. One guy plays or coaches with an attitude. The other guy's telling his guys to run as fast as you can. It's a whole different mentality. Mario Cristobal wants you to be able to punch the man in the mouth that's in front of you, first and foremost. That's how he wants to find out if you're a football player. CJ Daniels today made a tough-ass catch, and I loved it because we've seen so many of the athletic ones, which is fantastic. Range is awesome. It's really important in football. It helps your quarterback. He doesn't have to be terrifically accurate. You know what I mean? That catch in the end zone was not an accurate pass by Carson Beck. That was a phenomenal grab by CJ Daniels is what it was. It was not an accurate pass. So, you got to look at this and you got to appreciate what's going on, man. Really. It's just something that you got to appreciate what's going on here in a big time way. Just I love what I'm seeing. You got to have that attitude. And Mike McDaniel doesn't have that attitude. And Adam Gase didn't have that attitude. And Tony Sperano, while he wanted to run, he was also way too conservative. You know what I mean? And Don Shula didn't have that attitude with Dan Marino. He wanted to stay finesse and settle for the pass. And you keep getting burned. And that's why I keep telling you guys, stop worrying about who the next quarterback is. If you don't fix the offensive line in the running game, the quarterback doesn't mean jack shit. Just doesn't mean shit. Nobody win. When Mahomes doesn't have an offensive line, he doesn't win. You ever notice that? Anybody ever notice that? Anyone? Bueller. Anybody notice that? When Tom Brady struggled, that's because Scarnecchia wasn't coaching, and they went back and begged his ass to come back. Win at the line of scrimmage. And that's why the Dolphins will get nowhere. Because Mario Cristobal at least understands that in football, you must win at the line of scrimmage. Dolphins don't understand that. So, Bag on Head, thank you for the love on the super chat again, sir. Very nice of you. Venmo, super chat, you're all over the place. You're like Sagua Fair. You're everywhere. 46 carries, Canes. That's 4 games for the Fins. That's a good one. I like that. Let's see, what else do we have? Jamie Zorria, wow, I tip my hat to everyone watching. Likes and people watching are almost the same. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, yeah, you got us way over 200. Very nice. Thank you, thank you. Sweet baby Ray in the house. Both lines look rock solid. That's right, baby. I like it. Stephen Harris goes, I do when Mahomes lost against Brady and the Bucks. Right. Right. And whenever the Dolphins would give Brady trouble, what was it? It was that Jason and the boys were getting to him. Is that you made the line not as protective, and the statue could not move around. It's pretty simple, dude. It's really not that hard to figure out football. It really isn't. But if you don't win at the line of scrimmage and the running game, again, it just will never matter, ladies and gentlemen. It just will never matter. That's the part that sucks. Nothing will ever, get it done for you. And it will never satisfy all of us. So it's the way the leader carries himself, the way he commands and leads through strength and tough armor. Mario yells POW while Mike softly says timeout when plays are late. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that when you come to the sideline, you make a mistake. Is Mike McDaniel going to chew your ass out or something? Are you worried? Are you intimidated? So let me ask you something. What's it like when you make a mistake for Mario? What's it like for Don Shula? What's it like for Spo? You think those people get pissed? You think Paul Maurice doesn't get pissed and start throwing F-bombs like he's been caught on camera with his guys on the bench and they're playing like shit and he just starts, like dropping F-bombs? Sometimes there needs to be a what's that called? A price to pay. There has to be a price to pay for your screw-ups. And so I don't think Mario would allow Julian Hill to continue to make mistakes. And that's where the attitude, that's what True Fan is talking about. One guy is all business and he's constantly recruiting, constantly coaching, constantly working, and he doesn't expect anything less than from everybody else. And so his work ethic is better than anybody else's. And he proves it. And he's a former lineman. So he gets it. That's the beauty of linemen. It's dangerous because sometimes they are conservative, which he does have that a little bit in him. Although, like I told you last year, I think he started to shed that. And that's one of the things I was really proud of last year, that he shed that conservative, by allowing his quarterback and his offensive coordinator really grow, overall. So I think he's shed that a little bit. But it's dangerous sometimes because offensive line coaches are sometimes, conservative. But they do get the basics of how you're going to win games. And if you don't win at the line of scrimmage, you just don't win big in football. Can you surprise once in a while? Yeah, dude, for sure. Yeah, you can surprise once in a while with a fast team and some talent and you shock some people. But then when, push comes to shove, here, I'll give you an example. The Patriots, who went undefeated, they lived off the pass. They weren't necessarily a dominant run team. And then when they got to the playoffs, they limited the pass game and they really couldn't run like they normally would. And they ended up not winning it all. And that's where, sometimes it hurts you because they couldn't get to the bread and butter of what they used to be. Like the first couple of championships, they didn't win much by the pass. He made some plays, but they won by defense and running game and ball control. That's kind of how they won the first couple. Then after, he started to make a hell of a lot more plays for them and was a bigger factor. Shit, Deion Branch was an MVP in one. So that tells you all you need to know. But yeah, it's one of those where that's where you need to win. You got to win at the line of scrimmage, and he understands that. And I commend, Mario Cristobal, that he will do everything he can to win at the line of scrimmage. And if you don't dominate at the line of scrimmage, you will not win late in the game, and you will not win late in the season. You just won't. It's just not in the cards in football. Toxic Fart. Remember when Tua said, we'll yak you to death? Well, the Dolphins are yucking me to death. Exactly. And that's what happens, unfortunately. Yes, sir. Don't forget, folks, to hit the like button whenever you're watching, wherever you're listening. We appreciate it. Thank you all out there, as always. We thank Manny Navarro. We thank the great Sean Stanley. We appreciate all of you out there. Those of you that hit the like button, thank you, thank you, thank you. The great Andrew Washington says, serious question. Who wins in Rochambeau toxic sharts or toxic farts? What's the over and under? Sharts in a landing? Oh, I mean mudslide. Well, I'm going to go with True Fin Fan because he's like the ultimate farter. So last thing I know is that True Fin Fan is the fart champion.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.